Hey guys, and welcome back to 10 Binge. Today, I'm super excited to share with you the top 10 must-watch sci-fi horror movies right now. All the coolest ones you can find on Netflix, Hulu, Prime Video, and more. These are the best sci-fi horror flicks released so far in 2024 and 2025, so if you love that mix of scary and futuristic, you're gonna want to stick around. So let's jump right into it. For number 10. Ash of 2025, and it's now available on Amazon Prime. Honestly, it's one of those movies that leaves you thinking. The rating is 4.6 out of 10. So yeah, not the highest, but it still has a few things that might catch your attention. The story starts with a woman waking up on this distant, creepy planet. She's part of a space crew, but when she comes to, everyone else on the space station has been brutally murdered. She's completely alone and starts trying to figure out what happened, but the more she investigates, the worse it gets. Things start to unravel in a really tense and disturbing way. Visually, the movie looks great. The atmosphere is dark and eerie, and the tension builds slowly but effectively. If you're into sci-fi horror with a slow burn and some cool visuals, it's worth checking out. Just don't expect a perfect movie. Moving to number 9. Home Sweet Home: Rebirth of 2025 on Prime Video, and it's got a 4.6 out of 10 rating as well. So I wasn't expecting much, but it turned out to be more interesting than I thought. Where the story follows Jake, a cop who takes his family on vacation to Bangkok. Things go south fast when a mass shooting at a mall leads to Jake's death. But instead of dying, he wakes up in a strange, purgatory-like realm called the Hindrance. There, a monk tells him he's the Keeper, destined to stop an apocalypse. Meanwhile, his wife and daughter are trying to survive in a city overrun by possessed people. Jake has to find a way back to save them and stop the gates of hell from opening. The special effects and cinematography are top-notch. Overall, if you're into sci-fi horror with a supernatural twist, it's worth a watch. It's more about the visuals and action than a deep, coherent plot. Now, number 8. Time Cut of 2024 on Netflix, and it's got a 5 out of 10 rating, which follows Lucy, a high school student in 2024 who accidentally travels back to 2003. She ends up just days before her sister Summer is murdered by a masked killer known as the Sweetly Slasher. Lucy decides to try and stop the killer to save her sister. The movie has some fun throwbacks to the early 2000s, think Ugg boots, iPods, and Hilary Duff songs. But beyond the nostalgia, the plot gets a bit tangled. There's a twist which adds a psychological layer to the story. And actually, critics weren't too kind to the film. Despite its flaws, Time Cut offers a unique blend of sci-fi and horror with a nostalgic twist. If you're into time travel stories and don't mind a few plot holes, it might be worth a watch. Just let me know if you decide to check it out. For number 7. Arcadian of 2024 on Hulu, and it's a sci-fi horror flick that's got some serious tension, with a rating of 5.5 out of 10. So it's a mixed bag, but there are some standout elements worth mentioning. It centers on Paul, played by Nicolas Cage, and his twin teenage sons, Thomas and Joseph. They're holed up in a remote farmhouse trying to survive in a world that's been decimated by an unspecified apocalyptic event. By day, things are eerily quiet, but come nightfall, they're besieged by terrifying creatures that are both grotesque and strategically menacing. While Nicolas Cage delivers a subdued performance, visually, the film employs a documentary-style approach with handheld camera work that captures the action effectively. Overall, Arcadian offers a haunting, atmospheric experience that blends family drama with post-apocalyptic horror, which make it worth a watching. Next up, number 6. Sting of 2024, which streaming on Netflix, Prime Video, Hulu, Disney+, and Apple TV, with a 5.7 out of 10 rating. Where the story centers on 12-year-old Charlotte, who lives in a rundown Brooklyn apartment with her mom, baby brother, and stepdad. One day, she finds a tiny spider that hatched from a glowing object and decides to keep it as a pet, naming it Sting. At first, it's kind of cute, but things take a dark turn when Sting starts growing rapidly and developing a taste for flesh. Soon, the apartment building becomes a hunting ground, and Charlotte must confront the horrifying reality of her pet to save her family. The film has a nostalgic feel, reminiscent of classic creature features. While the movie isn't groundbreaking, it's a fun watch if you're into sci-fi horror with a mix of suspense and dark humor. Just be prepared for some intense spider scenes. Moving to number 5. Together of 2025, and it's a wild ride. A sci-fi horror film starring real-life couple Alison Brie and Dave Franco, directed by Michael Shanks in his debut. The movie has a 6 out of 10 rating, but don't let that deter you. The story follows Tim and Millie, a couple who move to the countryside to start anew. Their relationship is already on shaky ground, and things take a bizarre turn when they encounter a supernatural force that physically binds them together. Imagine being so close to someone that you literally can't separate. It's as unsettling as it sounds. The film doesn't shy away from its grotesque elements, but it's all in service of exploring the complexities of relationships. It's both disturbing and oddly touching, which offer more than just scares. Coming up next, number 4. Apocalypse Z: The Beginning of the End of 2024 on Amazon Prime Video, and I have to say, it was a surprisingly engaging take on the zombie genre. With a rating of 6.1 out of 10, I wasn't sure what to expect, but it delivered a solid mix of suspense and character-driven storytelling. The film follows Manel, a Spanish lawyer who isolates himself in his home after the tragic death of his wife. As a rabies-like virus called TSJ spreads across Europe, turning people into aggressive zombie-like creatures, Manel is forced to confront the chaos outside his doorstep. His journey to find his sister and nephew leads him through a series of harrowing encounters. If you're a fan of zombie films that focus more on character development and psychological depth than on gore and jump scares, this one is worth a watch. Now, number 3. A Quiet Place: Day 1 of 2024, now streaming on Paramount Plus and Amazon Prime Video. With a rating of 6.3 out of 10, the film follows Sam, portrayed by Lupita Nyong'o, a terminally ill woman who finds herself in New York City during the onset of an alien invasion. These creatures, blind but with ultra-sensitive hearing, plunge the city into chaos. Sam, along with her cat Frodo and a British expat named Eric, navigates the eerie silence of the city, seeking safety amidst the destruction. Their journey is not just about survival, but also about finding connection in the most unlikely circumstances. Day 1 delivers a wildly effective big city disaster film while making the most of the franchise's core concept and keeping the series' character first. A Quiet Place: Day 1 offers a fresh perspective on the franchise, focusing on personal stories amidst global catastrophe. As for number 2, Alien: Romulus of 2024, and it's a thrilling return to the franchise's roots. Streaming now on Disney Plus and Prime Video, and it boasts a solid 7.1 out of 10 rating. Set between the original Alien and Aliens, the film follows a group of young space colonists scavenging a derelict station, only to encounter the iconic xenomorph. Kaylee Spaney delivers a standout performance as Rain, leading the cast through a tense, claustrophobic journey. Director Fede Alvarez masterfully blends practical effects with atmospheric horror, creating a film that feels both nostalgic and fresh. They inject some fresh acid blood into one of cinema's great horror franchises. While some feel it leans heavily on fan service, it's undeniably a gripping experience for both longtime fans and newcomers. If you're into sci-fi horror, Alien: Romulus is definitely worth a watch. And finally, number 1 on the list. The Substance of 2024 on Prime Video, and it's pretty wild, which got a 7.2 out of 10 rating, so it's definitely catching some attention. The story is about this celebrity who's feeling the pressure of fading fame and takes a mysterious black market drug. But here's the twist, it's not just any drug, it literally creates a younger, improved version of herself. Imagine dealing with a clone that might just want to take over your life. It's a clever mix of sci-fi and psychological horror, digging into identity and what it means to face yourself, literally. It's kinda creepy, but in a smart, intense way. If you're into movies that make you think while also keeping you on edge, The Substance is a solid pick. Let me know if you watch it. And that's it for today's list. Which sci-fi horror movie are you planning to watch first? Or maybe you've already seen some of these. Drop your thoughts and favorites in the comments, I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more awesome movie lists. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.